Short stories, long shadows. Side effects may include paranoia, spontaneous laughter, and questioning reality. You've been warned.
They called it a victory. The news feeds lit up with drone footage of flattened Iranian cities, bleached out with dust and ruin. U.S. President James H. Bellerose stood on a golden stage in a reality-warped D.C. compound, wearing a crown of LED thorns and ranting about divine algorithms and sacred American judgment. Behind him, holograms of mushroom clouds flickered like fireworks. The crowd howled like animals at slaughter. What they didn't show were the pits. The refugee camps burned out of the sand. The children made ash beneath automated bombers. The craters where universities used to be. They said it was about nuclear weapons, but it was oil. It was always oil, and fear, and tech contracts, and a final dying empire hungry for something to crush beneath its heel. Stratodyne Industries, run by the most powerful man on earth, CashApp, streamed the war in 8K with haptic feedback. Americans could feel the concussive booms in their stomachs from the comfort of their home pods. Cass called it empathy tech, a subtle fuck you to the libs. In reality, it was a snuff film on global scale. Nigeria shut off its oil lines. Chile nationalized its lithium. China and India, ancient rivals, signed a one-line pact: no more. The United States, for the first time in a century, was alone. Germany froze U.S. assets. South Africa jammed American satellites. France dropped from NATO. When American missiles hit a hospital in Calm, and the world saw the aftermath live through hacked drone feeds, the final thread snapped. It was now the U.S. versus the world. Rufina Maya stood at the belly of a half-sunken container ship off the coast of Oman, pulling her shirt tight around a cracked rib and listening to the whine of Stratodyne drones above. Her name wasn't really Rufina, not originally, but she wore the name like armor. The real Rufina had survived a massacre in El Salvador, the only survivor of El Mazote. The U.S. had trained the death squads that butchered her village. That was long ago. This Rufina carried her name now, a former guerrilla, a digital ghost, a woman trained in 5 wars, fluent in 7 languages, and currently bleeding out beside a stolen server node. "We need to move," said Bateau, her partner, a former Zapatista hacker with a half-metal jaw. "Not until the upload finishes." She stared at the screen. 10 seconds left. Stratodyne's darkest secret was inside that node. A war contract signed before the invasion began. A plan to deliberately ignite the World War III. To force the world into a unified global economy ruled by private defense markets. Not a war for safety, not even for resources. Just profit, and order, and algorithmic obedience. The drone passed overhead, then another, then silence. The file hit 100%. Run. They escaped through the ruins of Muscat, then south across the shattered Yemeni border, then west to the new resistance corridor in Ethiopia. Rufina carried the node like a newborn. In Addis Ababa, she uploaded it. The world saw everything. The false flag operations, the AI manipulated election rigging, the use of American prisoners as test subjects for drone swarms, the planned invasion of Venezuela next. Even the faithful turned. CashApp activated the Black Lattice, a satellite grid designed to blind the Earth, internet, GPS, communication, all offline. A complete blackout. But they hadn't accounted for the Ash-Skin Accord. Indigenous resistance cells across the globe had been preparing for this for decades. The Maori fed intel to Sami's codebreakers and reindeer camps. The Lakota patched radio into old pipelines. The Mapuche hijacked a weather satellite and turned it into a data beacon. Light returned. The truth spread. The final blow came from within. At a rally in Atlanta, President Bellerose stood ranting about divine cyber angels and the cleansing fire of American data. Behind him, CashApp watched from a glass tower, silent and smiling. Then the screens behind him glitched. Static, hiss, a black scream, and then her voice. You don't know my name, but you will. Every monitor, every pod, every hacked holoscreen lit up with Rufina's face. Grainy, battered, filmed underground, she was broadcasting blind, bleeding, but alive. She spoke for 13 minutes, spoke of the dead, the bombed, the murdered, the children who never got to experience life, the mothers and fathers buried by drones, the silence that wrapped the world for too long. She named them, and then she named the killers. Not just Belarus, not just Kaz, but every executive, every general, every lobbyist, every co-conspirator. This is not justice, she said. Justice died long ago. This is fire. Then she pulled a cracked drive from around her neck and slammed it into an uplink port beside her. The final dump. The black lattice, the nuclear kill codes, the surveillance contracts, the offshore accounts, the coordinates of every hidden U.S. weapons facility on Earth. They hit the feeds raw, unfiltered, global, viral in seconds. Belarus froze mid-sentence. CashApp vanished from view. One protester leapt the fence, then another, then 500. 2 years later, the United States collapsed into regions. Parts of it healed, others didn't. But the world remembered the name, Rufina. Not the first Rufina, not the last. Just the one who lit the final match, the last fire.
One shots. Standalone stories that strike fast and burn deep. Like what you heard? Help us keep creating. CashApp, $Versebreaker. Have a what if idea? Drop it in the comments or email versebreakerai@gmail.com. Let's break the silence. Let's break the cycle. Let's break the universe. Versebreaker.